Okay, we should be live now. Hello, everybody. What's up? What's up? And welcome to another stream with Offensive Security. My name is S1REN, and today we're going to be working on a machine known as Seppuku. It is present on PG Play. If you'd like to register, you can totally do that, log in for free, and attack the machine along with us, right? If you would like to use the template, I've posted that in the general chat. Okay, so you can just follow like right along, and you won't have any issues. As far as like where does my enumeration go or something like that, super beneficial with regards to that. So hello everybody, and let me go ahead and rename the stream here because it does need to be renamed. Hi S1REN, we need S1REN time more often. I have responsibilities, man. If I could do this for you all the time, I certainly would. I certainly would. So if you have any questions, left over from the office hours, feel free to ask. I am here. Let's do this, Leroy Jenkins. Welcome, William K99. Glad to see you on the stream. I'm going to go ahead and just edit this. We're going to say that today's title is Box Walkthrough with S1REN. And this is Seppuku, S-E-P, I think P-U-K-U. And that is on PG Play. Let me know if that updates for you guys, but it should update. It really should. And yeah. All right. Anyway, how's everybody doing? Updated? Thank you, Ruklor, for the confirmation there. So if you're watching this on YouTube, just feel free to skip ahead to the 30-minute mark. And you don't have to listen to all of this. This is our soft start, and we like to let people trickle in, use the restroom, register an account if they need to, or just log in and launch the machine, connect to the VPN. There's a plethora of things. Now, this is the reason we have a soft start. So, yeah, how's everybody's week? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Good evening, all from the Netherlands, says Kenny Canwell from the Netherlands. So we have somebody from the Netherlands. Very far away from me, but, awesome. And hello, and welcome to the stream. We're glad to have you. I have a few announcements to make. Actually, we got some really cool stuff. Himsflash says, S1REN, happy Friday. It's 12 a.m. in India. Wow. Some dedicated people. So, just like a few announcements, right? We've got some new content into the library, the OffSec library. In the fundamentals library, we've brought down some serious new content. We've got introduction to red teaming, network penetration testing, understanding red team methodologies for comprehensive security assessments, right? If you're interested in SOC analysis, SOC analysts out there, malware analysis, analyzing tactics and tools used by red teams for systems administrators or system hardeners out there, right? Hardening systems in anticipation of red team assessments. So you're a sysadmin, a red team assessment is coming in. We got a module for you and how to work with that and harden those systems in that anticipation of that kind of event. With regards to our library and all attack-related modules, we have automating event log tampering, right? So event log tampering attacks, network penetration testers, that would be like automating log tampering for efficient evasion during attacks, right? So very interesting topics under the attack section. Um, Studying malware that automates log tampering. We just got a lot of log tampering and log tampering techniques, a lot of response stuff, a lot of SOC stuff, and even a bunch of stuff here from the red side of things. This is also Cybersecurity Awareness Month. So, no joke, head on over to https://offsec.com/CSA and you can see how we're contributing to that. That's offsec.com/CSA. And happy Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me take a moment here to look at the chat. Okay. So, Jas Dosma, welcome to the chat. Hello, hello. Rucklor, it would be nice and good for marketing if there was a simple way to share completion of the new library modules. That's a pretty nifty idea. We'll relay. So, let's see. The threat hunting module, you enjoyed that? Heck yeah. Heck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. When is OffSec putting together a forensics class? I don't really want to comment one way or another on anything like that. That would be something more for the office hours. So, how was everybody's week? Did everybody have a good week? Can everybody hear me just fine? If my mic is too low, let me know. I can bump up the volume. If it's too high, let me know as well. Hems Flash says OSCP exam in 3 weeks. Feels you feel prepared and need more practice. Still lacking confidence. Yeah, man. This is one of those things where you really just want to treat it like it was a real world engagement, like you're giving it your all, and you want to have your notes, your templates. Like if you know you're going to have 5 targets in the engagement, make a page for each target, each machine, right? So have your notes organized, have your timing for if you're going to take a nap during the 24-hour test, time that out accordingly, time out your naps, because that is actually real world as well. Sometimes you get an engagement that's in the middle of the morning and you need to rotate with your buddies. That's happened. So just one of those things. But aside from all that, hope you guys are doing good. Mike is good. Thank you, Ruklor. Happy we're heading into a long weekend in Canada. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Hey, my pleasure, man. Absolutely. Like, if I can help, prepare people, then, like, mentally, then, and even if you don't pass, look, dude, seriously, just some real talk. Even if you don't pass, you learned something, right? You learned about those types of machines. You learned about some vectors. You learned what you didn't know, what you struggled with, and you can revisit your course materials. You can revisit your course materials to those direct corresponding sections. And I would advise, look, man, I didn't pass. If we're being real with each other, Hems Flash, I didn't pass my first time around. I didn't. I did not pass my first time around. But I did take copious amounts of notes, and I went over them strenuously. Because I wanted to be prepared the next time around, whatever came at me. And I would advise the same, man. Don't, don't expect to crack every machine, but try for it. Give it your all. Really try. I've heard and seen a lot of people that take the exam and, they're a couple hours in and they're disparaged and distraught because they haven't landed a shell yet or a foothold or something like that, right? And, it's a game of learning the types of things you know versus the types of things you don't know. And if those types of moments are indicative of anything, it's indicative of what you don't know. So you can always go back to the course material and check that stuff out. Good or bad, says Ruklor, my plan is to go into the first test, not to pass, right? But just to know I can at least get from the deep end back to the edge of the pool, learning what's missing and going back and ready to rock. Failure is part of the learning process. Don't be afraid. Yeah, don't be afraid to fail. Don't. It's part of the learning process. Okay. Anybody else? So tell your friends that we're live. Tell your friends that Offensive Security is live. OffSec is live at twitch.tv/OffSec official. See, we got about 30 people in here, though I know those numbers kind of lie sometimes. It'll like stay stuck and then it'll jump a bunch just because of the update rate on Twitch's platform. But, tell your buddies and tell your friends that OffSec is live if they're interested in cybersecurity. And even if they're just like, semi-interested, or maybe they're a systems admin, maybe they're a sysadmin, maybe they're a web designer, right? And maybe they're a domain admin or something like that. In which case, all the better. Just toss them this stream, and they don't have to contribute at all. They can sit back, watch, and just kind of spectate and enjoy the show. See if it's for them, right? So toss a link to your friends, and heck yeah. I have a friend literally taking it right now. Well, heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. Best of luck. Yeah, believe in the process, not just entirely on the result. Absolutely, Hems. If I can call you Hems for short. The Fossey S1REN. While we wait, what's your last research? You mean what am I working on lately? I can't comment on that. That's work related. So I apologize. But I cannot comment on that type of stuff. I can tell you I'm working on a project. That project is related to a thing that's also, a part of a project, um, and that's about it. That's about it. I have projects, you know? But is it hardware? I don't know. What kind of hardware are you interested in? Is it OS, web app? Yeah, no, I can't comment on any of that stuff, man. On what it is. Is OffSec or does OffSec have a course on mobile penetration testing? So, with regards to that, That would be a great question for the office hours. That would be great question for a great question for the office hours. Absolutely, no, you're welcome. Yeah, I just can't comment on that type of thing, Fossey. I apologize, dude. I'm busy. As you can tell, I am busy. So, absolutely. Absolutely. Been a long week, but, we got through it and we're all here today. I'm going to toss in the chat, I'm going to toss in the name of the machine that we're doing, right? So, Seppuku. And that is on PG Play. Excuse me now. Okay. Excuse me, I got these allergies. Bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys, we're going to be beginning in about 13 minutes. 13 minutes or so, and we're going to go live. I can take a brief moment to go ahead and just stream some stuff here. Not really going to get into the machine. But for those of you who are curious, here we are, right? I can echo out my IP. I can echo out my URL. Echo out IP. I have 2 terminals. Apologize for the allergies, but I have all this ready to go for the machine's Seppuku. Any hashes we get, passwords, users. If there's any files or information exfiltrated from the machine, we have a directory for that. Any CVEs, exploits, verified weaponized code, that all goes in the vulns directory. But I got 2 terminals kind of locked and loaded there, and just ready to go. Ready to go. Aside from that, we also have Discord, right? Where is my Discord? If you scroll up a little bit in Discord, you will get these notes here. So if you want to follow along with my template in Cherry Tree, you'll see I have the machine running and I have an IP. I've put that in here. Aside from that, if you want to use that template, that is readily available for you there. Additionally, this Wireside text is closed, but if you go to the pinned messages, man, you're going to see just a lot of goodies. Aside from if you ever need it again or ever need the template or lose it, it's in the pinned messages there. All of TJ Null's NetSec Focus Trophy Room, that Excel spreadsheet for if you're looking to get into it, it's there. Let's see, like just a bunch of stuff that we in the chat used to go over that you kind of need to know by, that you end up learning along the way, right? And that's about it. But just some interesting information there in the pinned messages if you'd ever like to look and you ever need those resources. Aside from that, though, we have a couple of minutes before we start. So I'll switch back to starting. Yeah, the funny thing is my allergies are so bad I used some Flonase already. It did not work. Welcome to the stream, Abdo Kiko. And a message from Domdi says, Oh, Siren, I haven't caught any of your streams in such a long time. It must have been a year or so. Gosh, well, if it's been that long, it's a pleasure to see you again, Doomdai. And make sure, in fact, let me grab the link. Let me just grab the link real quick for you. And here it is. We'll copy text or copy link. This cable squeaking on the table. Got a cable squeaking on the table. And there we go. So there is that. If you're new to this, like, I can't tell you how much you really want to bookmark that resource on the download. Definitely, bookmark that and straight up use that as a resource and a guide. Maybe even as you're going through your OSCP and practicing. And I think it'll be tremendously helpful. But there's a link to that playlist on our official Offensive Security or OffSec YouTube channel. Hey, Siren. Something I've been doing is putting my findings into a list and using a script to search for exploits using search exploit. Dude, that is an ingenious idea. We did that back when I was going through the course, which is like basically making our own little vulnerability scanner, and it runs through the exploit database all updated to see if there's any weaponized code that is hosted there. There's weaponized code all over the net, though. It's not just going to be on the exploit DB. You really need to do your research on, like any proof of concepts that you find. See that there's no malicious backdoor activity going on, that it does what it says it does and nothing else. And, always verify that code for sure. December, starting your OSCP, starting that journey. Heck yeah. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Well, about 7 minutes on the clock, and then we'll be starting. 7 minutes on the clock if you want to start up Seppuku on PG Play. You could do so at any time. Let me be abundantly clear about this to any trolls in the chat. Regardless of what the word seppuku means or what it represents, we never want to tell anybody to harm themselves there. YSBYY. We never want to do that, right? We're dead serious about this, so dead serious. No, we're doing the machine. That is what we're here to do. And let's see. My wife wants a website for her small business. I'm studying, JavaScript, PHP, HTML, CSS, heck yeah. Been doing so for some years, way back. Heck yeah, dude. No, that's where I started was with web development, really. So if you come into the proactive sector and you have an angle on the web, then by all means, that's going to help you. It's going to help you. As always, welcome Andy, total regular on these streams. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Good vibes in your direction. About 3 minutes on the clock, guys. If there's anybody that can hear my voice right now that hasn't started Seppuku, go ahead and start the machine. And it's on PG Play. Connect to the VPN. Have your notes up, and about 3 minutes to do so. 0916-43728 says howdy there. Well, howdy. 0916-43728. All good, Siren? Heck yeah, Andy. Heck yeah. Let me pop out the chat here because it's all widescreen. Pop out chat. That's under settings. Pop out chat. There we go. Much better, much better. All right, guys. Little less than 2 minutes. 2 minutes, everybody. A drum roll. A drum roll from Kenny Canwell. We got about 60 seconds, little less. Little less, little less. Right on time. 4P44. Heck yeah, dude. Welcome to the stream. Right on time. 3 p.m. hard start. And that is exactly what we got to do. You like my drumming? Thank you. Thank you, thank you. So here we go. We're going to start this up here. you'll see I have my IP address and of the target machine. And if port 80 is open, we're ready to fuzz any web stuff going on there. Trailing / on the fuzz command here for directories as well in the bottom window. But let's go ahead and do an nmap scan. Full 65,535 ports. That's -SV for service version. We want to do that. And simple scripts at the target IP, tac open. And what we're going to do, let me move my thing here. But what we're going to do is with tac open is essentially tell nmap that we're not interested in performing script or service enumeration against any closed ports. So that'll speed it up pretty drastically, really. Pretty drastically. And in our nmap section is where those results will go. So nmap results, we're going to stick them right there. And now we just kind of wait. Seems to be going though, almost 50%. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. Da-da-da-da. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-da. Da-da-da-da. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba. I assume you mean our IP and URL. Those are I set them to environment variables. That way they can be utilized off the command line landmine with any tool sets and so on and so forth. So quite a lot back here. Quite a lot back. This is a pretty easy box, but most people know where I stand. I think that difficulty in this field is very subjective. It's hard to gauge. It really is. How difficult. If you know the vector, if you see something straight as day, then in that event you're gonna notice. And when you notice, the quicker you notice, rather, the more effective you're gonna be, and into compromising that machine. And I think I opened up a new. Yep, I do that every time on accident. I hit that hotkey. But we have port 21 as well. FTP, it looks like VS FTP, so sounds like we want some anonymous FTP stuff there. SSH is great, but we don't have any credentials. We do have HTTP on Engine X 1.14.12, so that's what we got there. That's on port 80. We have NetBIOS SSN, so 139445. We're going to want to be able to check that out with enum for Linux, maybe SMB client. We have SSL here. This needs to be up in Burp Suite. All of this needs to be up in Burp Suite with multiple repeater tabs, tackling multiple things. But we have Lightspeed, HTTPD, 404 here, and 7601 seems to be the only one that's not 404ing or 401ing and saying that there's authorization required. So 7601 looks good, but 8088 also looks good. Seppuku, Lightspeed, so on and so forth. So the name of our host, we did get that back, is Seppuku. So we'll go up to host name and we'll put in Seppuku. And the web technology, we do not know any of the web technology yet. We do know that the target OS is Debian, because that's standing out from the admin interface exposed to the internet. That's going to be SSH. It's a finding in and of itself, really. Pretty informational to low, but you never want to have, as an organization, 22 exposed to the internet in any fashion. Anything else we got back here? So we have an FQDN. Again, FQDN, Seppuku. Looking really good. Looking really good. Let's see. Found a brute forcing on HTTPS tricky. Any questions or any suggestions? Well, you can use Hydra. You can really use Hydra, or you can use wfuzz to do that. Just do it with wfuzz, really, I guess. But let's go ahead and put some of these ports up on our to try list. We have 21, which is FTP. And we have 22 SSH. As far as the HTTPs, we have 80 HTTP. Well, let's put those, yeah, whatever. Let's go through all the HTTPs. 7080 HTTP. We have 7601, more HTTP. And 8088, more HTTP. So we got plenty of HTTP today. But aside from that, we also have, let me put SSH down at the bottom because we don't have any credentials right now. So what's the point of putting that at the top of our to try list, right, in our head? What's the point if we have no credentials? Aside from that, though, we have 139.445. That's going to be NetBIOS, SSN, server message block, or common internet file structure. In which case we're going to need to check that as well with something like enum for Linux, SMB client. Check to see if there's any null sessions. A plethora of things, really. But let's start out with FTP, guys. So that's it. As you know, you're familiar, we got our nmap scan done. Our to-try list is ready. What would you guys suggest that we do for FTP? What is one thing you want to check in an engagement for FTP? What is one thing? Anonymous login. There it is. That one came on quick. Excellent. So anonymous login? Question mark? And let's find out. I have all this saved, so I'm just going to clear it. FTP to the target IP. And anonymous. Doesn't look like it. We would have been in already. Yeah. We would have been in already. Let me make sure. Anonymous. Yeah, nothing. So FTP, no anonymous login. No anon login. No anon login. All right, so that takes care of FTP for us. That's going to go back down towards the bottom here. It's just a port that's sitting there. VSFTPD 3.0.3. I mean, while we're on the topic of it, if we do a search exploit for VSFTP, we have a 3.0.3 denial of service, don't we? But that's kind of not what we're looking for at all. We don't really care about the denial of services. So, and let's see. Pretty sure you can. FTP IP? I mean, let's see. Anonymous and blank. No, there's no anonymous. You can type the password anonymous or blank. Yeah. Aside from that, enumming SMB. I agree with you. That's now at the top of our to-try list. So we're thinking enum for Linux, SMB client. What are some other things what is the real finding that we're looking to discover? What is the finding we're seeking out? There's a technical term. It's in the PWK materials. What are we looking here for 139 and 445? Yeah, SMB shares. I like that. So we're looking for SMB shares. Can we get those back? Let's check for shares. nmap-p139445-script is equal to smb-enum-shares at the target IP. And do we get any shares back? Dun, 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 dun. We do get some shares back, so we're going to copy that. But, well, we'll see. We do have shares up here. These are technically nmap results, so I'm going to keep them down here. But you'll see we have IPC. We have a printer share, which is pretty cool. And that paths to C temp, some directory in C, or cvarlib samba printers. Okay, so it's Samba, that's why. But yeah, users 1, IPC service, again, confirmation of Debian, and the versioning of Samba that we want to highlight. But now what are we looking for? What is the type of finding, right? So let's put that we found IPC and print. And print. So the correct answer here that I'm looking for is known as a null session or null sessions, right? Are there any null sessions? Let's find out. Let's use echo the IP SMB client, and then you can use -L to list out any shares 192 and then /192.168.117.90 and I believe we're gonna just put in something like IPC, and it may give us shares back. It may not. It may not. Connection timed out. I put 117. It's 177. That might have helped. So we are able to list out the shares. See how much cleaner output that is than Nmap? That's just with like SMB client. I like to think of SMB client as the netcat for server message block, right? It speaks the same language. So let's go ahead and see if there's any null sessions. Can we log in here with a null session? So C_N, that's what we're looking for here. Can I log in? I can. There is null sessions. But it looks like a lot of what we can do is limited. So let's do an enum for Linux at the target IP and see what we get back. So we're definitely going through here and getting some information back. It's going to begin cycling. The answer is yes, it had null sessions. So we're going to put in all caps, yes, null sessions. That's a finding. You never want to permit null sessions. Definitely don't. Are there any users we can enumerate? You know, let's kind of leave that running for a little bit. And domain Seppuku. And I believe we're kind of good to start going down those HTTPs. Nothing new here that we really haven't gotten back from, I mean, other than the OS version, which is nice. Nice to have. Enumerating users with SIDs. Let's take a look at the chat. I bet this is so noisy on the network and it would be picked up quickly. It could be. Could be. Administrators, users, gas, power users, account operators, server operators, print operators. Fingers crossed we get something real. Somebody says, I bet there's some users in HTTP. Yeah, we haven't even touched the largest attack surface here or in the world. Which, by the way, the web surface is the largest attack surface in the world. In the entire world. Smooth operators. All right. In the meantime, we got that going. Let's take a look. 80 HTTP. I mean, let's hit it up. I got Burp Suite open right here. Where's my Burp Suite? There you are. Intercept is off. And here's this. So let's grab the IP and just port 80 and see what's up. All right, so we're getting hit with authentication, and that's just going to be straight up 401 authentication required or authorization required. But what are some things that we want to do for each and every one of these kind of things, right? We want to, I'll breeze through them for you this time around, but what we want to do is file and directory discovery or fuzzing. You know, what shakes loose is what we're asking. What shakes loose? Another thing we're looking for is any robots.txt, .svn entries, .ds stores, you know, .get, anything like that that might have been left behind that could assist us. From the outside looking in, you know, we want to do manual inspection. As we always say, view the source, Luke. View the source, Luke. View the source. And we're basically going to just kind of apply this logic. This is strictly from the outside. This is, you know, strictly from the outside. Boom, bada boom, bada bing. Same logic applies to all these HTTPs. That's what I want to make clear. That's the lesson here. But trying default creds, absolutely. Maybe I'll put on 80 to try. This is our to try list, default creds. We'd have to figure out what it is. It's just Nginx. It looks like nothing too special. Nothing too special there. 7080 is light speed HTTPD or HTTP daemon. So 7080. That's a 404 not found. This takes us to a 404. So we'll put, you know, index is a 404 not found. Space these out a little bit. This is a 404 not found. Default creds. 401 authorization required. And what else do we have here? 7601 and 8088. Yeah, it's the first Friday of every month is when we're going to do this. So 7601, let's open that in a new one. I like to have all the web surface tabs, like a new tab for each. Like if there's multiple HTTPs in the instance that we have now, you always want to have a tab open, at least for each one of them. That way it stays fresh in your head. But 7601 is the port. Unrecognized here, let me grab this and do HTTPS. Unsupported or unrecognized SSL message. There we go, but if we convert it to HTTP, we're here. And it shows an image of a man with a stick through himself, kind of very old school, almost Japanesey, like a Japanese kind of vibe from this. But we're going to keep this open, and just to demonstrate the principle here of what I'm talking about, let's do 8088. Again, more of the same thing. So 7601 and 8088, we're getting both of this back, just kind of manually viewing the source loop kind of thing. And yeah. It's powered by Lightspeed. So with all that being said, we have one that's authenticated. We can begin fuzzing. What do we have? 7080. That was a not found. So what I'm going to do then in that case is just kind of, did it get anything back? Hey, we actually got back real users. Look at that. Look how nice. So we got back real users on the machine. Hypothetically, we could look at what SMB, server message block, gave us. We have Samurai's, Seppuku, and Tanto. So we got real users back here, guys. Real users, system level users. So that was excellent work that came out of 139445, and we're going to even duplicate that and put that underneath. Yes, null sessions were permitted, and this is why you don't allow null sessions. I don't know what else to tell you. Now I have half the brute forcing equation out taken out and handled because we have the users. Let's take a look at the chat. What is this box? Seems very familiar to me. Not sure. Not sure. You could always watch the past ones. Yes, there. How would you check users without enum for Linux? I'm gonna be sure with you. I am not too sure. What it does is it iterates through something called a SID or SID. I'm sure you could mimic that in Python, as enum for Linux is a Python script technically. So if you want to take it apart, take it apart. Look at it in Wireshark. Maybe we'll learn something. But heck yeah, I mean we found a lot thus far, guys. We found a lot. So let's get to fuzzing. I don't know what else to say. 7080 / fuzz. Export URL. We're going to re-export this because 80 is not going. I'm going to use my common command. And we're just going to fuzz for words. I'm just going to do words and explain this. So wfuzz, we want color in the output. What's our data input method? We want a file. Where is the file? Comma separated. OffSec list discovery web content raf large words.txt. Now, if you'd like, you can app-get and install-yes seclists, and we have that in our repository, so you can always do that. Always do that, and that would then be in user share seclists. But I'm an old hat, and I put anything from like a GitHub into my opt directory that's optional, right? So then what's this HC404? We're saying hush or suppress codes that are 404s. We're not interested in any fuzzing results that come back as a result of a 404 response. And where do we do that? At the target URL, which we have just exported, which is port 7080 / fuzz. Let's see what we get. So any 301s, view, libdocs, php3 res. I mean, what is this? res docs. Why did it return that? Because the web server is configured to say, hey, I support PHP. So if you do .php and get that kind of thing, it's going to be like saying x blank.php, so to speak. Class.php. So we know our web technology now is definitely PHP. And our OS is Debian. But look at how much we've enumerated here, guys. Look at what we've done. And just going through this, I'm not seeing anything too interesting just yet. A lot of 403s, a lot of forbiddens, 301s, that kind of stuff. So, seeing as we're not really getting much back here, no 200s. There is a 200, but we already pulled that up, and that was /docs. So I'm going to Control-C this, and we're just going to move on to the next one, really, and keep that open in a tab of what we found. And let's move right along to 70. We did 7080. 7601 is what's next. So let's grab that. I'll just tack on /fuzz, and we'll Alt-tab back in here. Export the URL environment variable again. And this time with the trailing / in our second terminal. Reason is we want to be able to hit those directories. And we can just throw the same wfuzz, big words kind of thing at it. So we found database, okay. Maybe a bunch of troll directories, ACTRFDE 301s everywhere, and HT access. Let's see, let me turn up my brightness. Okay. "7601 has RCE 70E, a CVE associated with it." Okay, very interesting. What's on 7601 that you found? HTTP Apache 2.4.38. I don't think there's any RCEs for Apache, man. If that's what you're thinking, dude, I don't think there are. I don't think there's any RCE for Apache there. But we've found some definitely interesting stuff. Ooh, CK editor, keys. Okay, production. Let's control C this for a minute and just bring all this and copy it over, right? And we'll go to 7601. We'll say like this. So for 7601, port 7601 HTTP, we had files and / and directories and /. That's the web root. And we get a lot back here, just a bunch of crap, really. These are a bunch of 301s that we're not going to be able to access. Like if I go to /f, let's see what happens, right? F, it's just it's a blank directory. I'll keep them. Supposedly we could go through them, but they're all returning 319 bytes, 319 characters. So we can basically assume actually we can get rid of them because we know that that's what that corresponds to, which is just a directory listing finding. There is one with a dot, /dot, nothing, /dot, nothing. Okay, that's basically the home page. More 319s on those single letters. And what did we get in terms of directories? What did we get back? Let's scroll this up. Server status, keys, production. I'm interested in what we got down here too, for sure. And then I'll take a look at the chat and see what you guys think. More of these. This was correspond to the index. F and E, well, that's actually would have been what we had with the trailing /, which is a directory listing. So single forward or single like would bring back /f would basically do that. So just nothing here. A bunch of troll directories, 735s. Let's just remove them and clean it up. Keep it nice and concise. We can remove these tests. An HT access is great, but that's a 403. These .htcs that aren't returning anything. Similarly up here, we can drop these. It's just really about, it's like trimming a tree, man. It really is like trimming a bonsai tree. It's a lot like that practice. And the more that you trim a bonsai tree, the more you're going to get better at it. It's a skill like anything else. And that's what we're doing here. We're trimming shrubbery, trimming a tree to kind of see what would really stand out. And let's do this here. But we have CK editor, which is always nice. So 7601 /CK editor. Yay, so we have that. Let's make a new tab because I want to keep that open. We also have /secret. Okay, we have files in here. Hostname, Seppuku. I'm going to go ahead and put that down as one of our possible users. It's everywhere. It's in the domain. It's in the host name itself. What we're going to do is nano users. I'm going to put Seppuku in here as a possible user. But oh, wait, what am I talking about? If we cat users, no, we need to go up here. We already have valid users that we got back from enum for Linux. So let's nano users here and just make this a clean list. We might use these with Hydra later or something like that to see if we can get back any cracked credentials. This is always a possibility. But goodness gracious, look at what we were able to really get back there. Pretty cool, pretty cool. And let's see, there were other things. Jack the Ripper, John the Ripper. Password.back file. We can open that. Like, what about the shadow.back? Or that was okay. So we can have that too. Let's cat/home Kali downloads shadow.back. So they have a rabbit hole user, it looks like, and this does not have this is not what we're looking for. Like if I copy this link address and curl it, yeah, this is the password file. And again, the rabbit hole user, none of these are the system level users that we've already confirmed with enum for Linux. None of them are that. So we definitely are being fooled here and need to take what we get with a little bit of grain of salt. Only other thing is passwords.list. We can curl that. Okay, so we actually have some potential passwords here. Guys, we have a potential password list and we have 3 users. Who votes we Hydra at this point? Who votes we just get Hydra going? Yeah, Hail Hydra on this one? Sound good? SSH fuzz, Hail Hydra, do it. Let's go. Okay. All right, let's do Hydra-L, the users that we enumerated with server message block and those null sessions. And then we'll just do / or we can just say passwords. And that'll be SSH protocol at the target IP. And let's go. Will you be locked out for too many false attempts? A server can be configured for that, yeah. Heck yeah, a server can be configured for that. We got one. Seppuku, and we got one. Shebang. In the words of 0916437728, shebang. So we're going to nano our passwords, and let's just say, let's touch confirmed passwords. Nano confirmed, verified passwords, EORE. We haven't gotten anything back yet, but that's okay. We're going to immediately just Hydra, cat users, or SSH as Seppuku at the target IP. We're going to cat confirmed passwords. We're going to copy that to our clipboard and hit yes, paste, and we're in. Guys, whew! That took a while. That took a while, but we are in it. And you guys want me to bling bling? All right, bling bling. Bling bling. Because that's what that is. That is bling. That is compromise of the machine, guys. Took a little while, but we got there. We got there. First command that we do out of the gate. Oh, and let me put this in our notes. That password is crucial. So Seppuku in proper credential format. There we go. And we'll do sudo-l. Okay. What? Okay. What? ln-sf on root? Okay. Curious. GTF opens? Kind of curious. I don't think there's going to be... I mean, there's not going to be anything on ln, is there? There is as a sudo. Are you joking? ln-fs, but it is ln-fs or -sf, but that's on root. So I think we need to hold off on that. In actuality, curiousness that would be that easy of a compromise, I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Man ln? There is no... Oh, we're in restricted bash. So I'm going to use my breakout command. Is Python 3 here? It is? Okay. We'll use Python 3 to break out. Now I type TTY. We're on a valid TTY and a valid shell. And exit that. Boom. And there's another... This machine is littered with stuff. What is going on? So sudo-l is seppuku. Potentially we want to visit this maybe. What would that end up doing? If I type ln -help. -s is symbolic. And -f. So create hard links by default. Symbolic links. Each destination, and then F is for an entire directory. Does that mean that we could get the flag and put everything into temp? Sudo this ls-lsa ls-lsaht on temp, cd to temp root. Cannot do that. Very interesting though. Very, very interesting, isn't it? Very interesting. But we have some other things here. We can return to that. We have a .password file, and that just straight up has a... I'm guessing this is a password. There was no MySQL running here, but we have 3 other users. So we are Seppuku. We could attempt to log in. Maybe with one of these. What if we switch user to Tanto? Okay, that password doesn't work. Switch user to Samurai. And there we are. Okay, so we just moved laterally. LSLSA. Okay, sudo-l. And we also have some interesting things here. Okay. Now I'm seeing something that stands out as a little suspect. We have another sudo as as Samurai to run home tantu cgi bin. I'm guessing bin is some flat file onto temp. What happens if we try to run this into temp star? Run that on temp anything. Sudo this, password for Samurai, which we really need to copy, and we need to paste that into our notation and also into our passwords. Nano confirmed passwords, place that there and bring that down. And place that in our notes as Samurai and this. So we've got more confirmed credentials there, which is going pretty good. It's saying the command isn't found. So somewhere along this line of reasoning, there is no past Tanto, there is no CGI or bin because it's saying command is not found. Maybe there's a CGI bin, but there's no bin file or bin executable or binary. But that is technically, yep, chat is reminding me, that's Bling 2. That is Bling 2. What do you guys think? I mean, we can run through the gambit. Do you guys want me to run? Oh, we're in restricted bash. If you want me to run through the gambit of Linux privilege escalation, I think we should do that. I really do. Let's just run through the gambit. Take 5 minutes and just completely enumerate this machine. But before we do that, there's another password file. No, that's in Seppuku. If we cd to home of Samurai, there's nothing in here but a bash rc, a bash logout, GPU or GNUPG, and profile. No, Fixit42, you've not missed anything really too much yet. We've just got our first shell, and we moved laterally from a user called Seppuku to a user called Samurai, and we're working on our horizontal privilege escalation. Okay. Okay. Let's check var temp. I'm going to start running down the gambit of lenps it is. No, we're not doing any lenps. But cd to temp. We're going to check the world writables. We already tried that root thing. Dev shim. There is an OLS, but permission is denied on that. Can't really cat anything here. Let's cd to etsy. Is there anything that's not root or root shadow? I just don't want anything to slide under the rug unnoticed on this machine. And there's not. Can we write to Etsy password? Is it something foolish like that? No. Is there any mail happening? Var spool mail? No, none of those. Anything out of the root file system other than a .bash history that looks out of place? Doesn't look like it. What about psaux and grep-i for root --color equals auto? Again, in this, we're not really concerned with the square brackets right now, but we are concerned with this stuff. So our syslog-d cron, maybe we're interested in. Open light speed. I'm going to say that those are both running as roots. So I'm going to say open light speed and cron are potential avenues. We don't want to miss out on those. Open light speed. Cron, is cron doing anything? We could have pspy64. Let's get the compilation information in the event that we need to create a kernel payload, which should be heavily backburner. But we'll paste this information in here. cat/etsy *release, and copy all of this into here as well. And then we'll run a file on bin bash so we can see exactly if we ever need to compile something. We know it's an ELF 64-bit LSB pi executable x86-64. That means to say that we would not specify --no pi or --no --pi. We would want it to be a pi executable. So just some things that stand out there as well. Let's go ahead and, same way we do our nmap output. These are potential suspects. These are potential targets. We have our Linux kernel version, x86-64. So we got to keep that in mind. We know that it's DB and GNU Linux Buster. So we're just going to highlight that whole thing straight out. And we know that this is an ELF 64 LSB pi executable. Again, x86 is 64. So we'll do this. And we have basically everything we need for compilation. If we do git capabilities -r from / any errors to dev null, do we have any extended ones? We have a ping with extended capabilities, but what we're really looking for here is anything we can manipulate in terms of like a language, Python, Perl, PHP, whatever it might be, any extended permission sets that we might be able to abuse. Unfortunately, ping's extended permission sets can't really abuse that too much. Next up on the list is going to be stuff like the network, netstat-antop. Is there anything here? What are we interested in? None of this stuff. I'm not interested in any of this. Why? Because none of it is off the loopback adapter. There's no 127001. If there was, there might be something running locally that we could log into, so on and so forth. What about the web surface? Did we miss anything? Here were all those troll directories. Now this may be a breath of fresh air for those who were like, why are we getting all these troll directories? Well, now you see it right in front of you. What is this secret cap file? That is also very cool. It is a pcap file. Yeah, pcap, JDOS or JDOS-sama. I agree with putting something in the bin directory. Yeah, so I do agree. I just wanted to, it's not that I didn't agree with that. I just kind of wanted to run down that gambit. You would always want to look for pspy, in this case like 64, or pspy 32 if you're looking for events across the system. I'm really trying to teach you. What about optional? Is there anything in optional? No, there's nothing there. And that pretty much handles it. We've already been through home. We've already been through all those things. And we're good. We're good. Now at this point, we need to do sudo-l, and we have this. So if we cd into Tantu and do an ls-lsa, That's why there's no CGI bin. Remember when we tried to run this, remember that? Sudo -l, here, and that command was not found. But rather, so we need to move over to Tanto, but we haven't found anything from our enumeration thus far, which means we must have missed something maybe from the web surface. We went into secret, but we didn't go into keys. And if we look inside keys, I look at private or cat private.back, we end up getting back these look like IDRSA keys. So I'm going to copy this. We're going to cd to the home directory, and let's touch IDRSA, chmod 600 IDRSA, nano that. And my guess is as good as any, right? We might be able to SSH as Tanto at 127.0.0.1-I IDRSA. And if we do that, we are in. We are in and compromised as Tanto compromised, right? That's a good thing. That is a good thing, but I'm still adamant about that sudo because we could have done it as root. The problem is this. I'm going to exit Tanto. If I go to touch data, let's try making a directory, right? Let's go to make a directory in home Tanto. We can traverse into it, but can we make a directory? No, we can't. So we need to, in essence, we need to be Tanto to create that directory. And I think we can even put in a malicious binary overwrite, and we might be able to get root if you know where I'm going with this. Looking at the chat, basically thinking the same thing. Key, try root. Very nice horizontal. Thank you. This counts as bling 3. Okay. Bling 3. Bling 3. Absolutely. And let's do LL and SSH back in as Tanto. And if I do sudo -l, we don't have the password for Tanto, unfortunately. So we're going to have to remember that Samurai is our real target there for that sudo user. But let's cd to the home directory of Tanto. Again, we're in another restricted bash shell. I'm going to teach you guys a little lesson. If you don't have any of that, most machines come with VI. If they don't have Vim, they might have VI. And you can type :set shell equal to bin bash, and then call upon that with another colon, and just type shell, hit the return key, type TTY, and now if I attempt to, do something like make a directory, we should not have an issue because it's not a restricted bash shell. I don't know why our bash is so incompetent, but it is. And you can read but can't write. Is that the case? I think we can make a directory called .cgi. Was it CGI? Yeah, I think it's CGI bin. Oh goodness. We're gonna have to exit this. Right quit or just quit. Exit. And sudo -l. This was .cgi_bin. Excellent. So that's what we do. And we make dir .cgi_bin. And that's that. And we'll get a valid shell here. And alias ll to equal clear. --auto. So we have something nice. And .cgi_bin. And now we can touch a binary file, nano that binary file, and what do we put in here? What do we want to have run? Do we want to have it send us a reverse shell? What are we thinking? What are we thinking, guys? Was it .cgi-bin? I don't think so. Was it? Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But, okay, copy bin bash. Here's what we can do. Let's get fancy with it. Let's shebang bin bash and let's say copy /bin /dash to var temp dash, and then we'll chmod u plus s, because we'll be running that as sudo root, so we can set the suid sticky bit, and then we'll just run on, and that'll be on var temp dash. So we're setting the user to suid sticky, and then we'll run var temp dash. And actually, I don't want to run it. I want to show you what it looks like. But we'll exit that, because there it is, cat bin, and everything is there. There's our payload. Let's exit, exit again, and we're back to Samurai. Sudo -l .cgi _ bin is what it is. And if we cd into home and cd to Tanto, yeah, we have _bin. So in effect, we can basically do this now. Let's, fingers crossed, it'll attempt to run my payload copy bin dash to var temp dash chmod u plus s var temp dash, and it'll attempt to run that on temp, which obviously will not happen, but it will continue along that line of execution. So let's see if we can type sudo and sudo this. Interesting. Sudo -l. Command not found. Okay, in that case, we may need to SSH back in as Tanto. I think I know, it may be that we didn't permit it to execute. Yeah, was the bin executable, JXCrow, correct? I agree with that. I agree with that entirely. Let's try that. Let's just try that. cd to home, cd. And then set it to executable. Home tanto.cgi bin. And chmod plus, that's why, plus x on bin. And let's just chmod -r777./.cgi bin. And now we'll exit and exit again and attempt to run that sudo command as Samurai, and it goes through. That was good job, good notice on that, JXCrow. And yep, abdo keke, absolutely, plus x, and attempts to run on /temp. What I mean is like this. So this is saying I am running a binary file. I intend to run a binary file, and I intend to run it, and whatever it does that's file system related, I want it to run on /temp / anything inside of temp. So this is irrelevant. This might as well not even be here, is my point, because this was not in place before. We had to create it. But that is the general logic behind what's going on. I hope that makes sense. It's certainly not noise. It's certainly not noise. I can type cat, and then I can have that do cat etc password, right? I can run the cat binary and have it target etc password. If this was, which cat, if this was user bin cat instead of home tantu cgi bin on temp, we could do something like cat /temp. Because it has an asterisk, we could traverse out of it, go back to the root file system, go to etc and cat shadow. But it's not the cat command. I just hope, that makes sense. Noise, I hope you guys can hear me. It's an argument to a binary, yes, that doesn't require an argument. Meaning temp are passed as arguments. Yes, JXCrow. Yeah, not noise, not random horse, very real there. So with what we got, sudo -l, we ran it. Let's cd to var temp. Did our payload get executed? It did. So notice how we have the dash binary here. I like to call it like a shiny, because it's a suid sticky bit. Look at that S there. That's what we want. So we're going to /dash -p to execute it as the effective privilege for whom or whatever group, user group created it, and that is root. We can cd to the root directory and echo bling4. That is bling4. Yes, JX Crow. That is bling bling. We have done it. We have done it. Hell yeah, because that was awesome. That was quite a wind up, that machine. But we did it. We did it. So we cd to root. We can clear this out. And let's lslsa. All right, there's a proof tag. So I'll cat proof.txt. Actually, I'll save that for the bottom. I'll do if config hostname id who am I and cat proof.text. And then I'll hit the print screen key. And we'll snapshot this for our formal report as evidence and proof of the effect of compromise or authority privilege that we gained over the machine during the engagement. And that wraps up this machine. Let me go back here. And I already gave a bunch of announcements, but I'll give them again. Before we give those announcements, though, I want to have some takeaway concepts. There were a lot of rabbit holes in this machine. I think it was great to practice for avoiding those rabbit holes. Or I think it was great to practice, or I think it is great to practice this machine for avoiding those rabbit holes. So very useful stuff there. And when it came to the users, I mean, don't allow SMB null sessions. Just don't do it. If you don't have to, don't do it. And what are some other things? Don't have plain text credentials on the machine that can be used to move laterally or vertically across a machine or network. And I'll copy all of this, and let's go ahead and bring this over here. And I really need a summary of what we did. Basically, compromise was we SSH into the target machine. Recap, right? As user Seppuku. We had a discovery. We discovery of .password file that contained plain text password. Additionally, we were able to switch user to Samurai, right? And with that password and shell as Samurai, sudo-l gave us the ability to do home as all. We had home tanto.cgi. I want to say it was CGI underscore Ben, yeah, and /Ben. But we did not have the permissions to write. We had no permissions to write, so we discovered a .IDRSA. We had discovered a .IDRSA private key that in what was that in var from memory HTML keys private.back. And then what did we do? We chmod 600 IDRSA, SSH-I IDRSA as, what was it, Tantu at 127001. And then we created the payload with absolute pathing as /home/tanto.cgi_ben/Ben. And we placed, or you could echo ben bash if you really wanted to, out to the ben file. And then upon doing so, you could exit that connection back as Samurai, and then just run sudo home tanto.cgi ben bin, and it wanted the full command as temp star, but it didn't matter there. And then we had root. So I'm going to paste this over. Guys, head over to Discord. Hey. Head over to Discord. This is going to be Seppuku. And in the general chat, I'm going to paste the notes for you guys, as I always do. But there is Seppuku. If you guys enjoyed it, there's the notes from top to bottom with the takeaway statements. And I see some people, just a guy 1 through 7. Oh no, we don't have the bot yet up. And here really reminds me, I need to get the bot set up in these. But aside from that, we'll go to offsec.com/webinars and take a look at kind of what we have. What are some new webinars that OffSec is offering? In doing this, taking a minute to load. But the art of collaboration, security, let's see, on-demand webinars, how to get executive buy-in for cybersecurity initiatives. So if you're looking to if you're in the sector of proactive security or cybersecurity, and you're looking on tips for organizational training and how to get executive buy-ins for cybersecurity initiatives, there was a guest named Naomi Buckwalter, Director of Product Security at Contrast Security, and that would be a very fun one to listen to. Aside from that, we also have, this is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. So happy Cybersecurity Awareness Month, everybody. And enable your multi-factor authentication. Use strong passwords and a password manager. Update your software regularly. And with AI coming out these days, guys, recognizing those and reporting those phishing attempts is essential. Absolutely essential. First time chat from Viomix says, thanks. You're absolutely welcome, buddy. And thank you for being here. And if you missed anything in this stream, have no worries, because it will be available on YouTube shortly after the stream. I've got to get it uploaded and all of that. But once we do, it'll be available on YouTube. And you'll be able to rewatch this if you like. I think this is video number 49. Stream number 49. I think we've done like 49 boxes together here recorded. That doesn't even include the ones that we did unrecorded before we moved to Twitch. But yeah, here we are at the end of this streaming session. And I want to say, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Siren. Thank you. Thank you. You guys rock. And absolutely, yeah, I will see you in a month. We'll be doing another one. Hems Flash, thanks, Siren. XCB, you guys are the best, man. Thank you so much, and really appreciate it. Rain over love you. You guys are too nice. Holy goodness. So, too nice. No, but thank you so much. I'm humbled. And, I want to say the same thing that I say pretty much every stream, which is that this career is not a sprint. This career is a marathon. It's not just some job. It is a career. It's a marathon. And it's not a sprint to who can be the best, the fast, the quickest at penetrating networks all immediately. That comes with hundreds of machines, actual engagements, things that you know to look for. That comes with time. Working with other professionals in the industry, like my colleagues at Offensive Security. I mean, brilliant colleagues, and I've learned so many things from them. So, on behalf of Offensive Security, thank you guys for being here, and we'll catch you in 1 month, the first Friday of every month, so we'll catch you then in November, the first Friday of that month, and happy hacking, intruders.